focus. I'm ready to record here. Get this thing. Oh, crap. Okay, guys, this is Alvin. I'm in the studio. This is my first time trying to use ScreenFlow, and I'm going to try to do a couple things showing you a song that I'm working on for the album Wave called Tailspin. This is all in Logic, and so I'm going to try to explain a little bit about what I'm doing and how I'm putting this stuff together. A lot of it I'm still working on, but I'm mixing synths with doing a hybrid with synths and real guitar, electric guitar, and just trying to get a nice compressed Chillwave sound. So one of the first things, let me play just a sample of this here so you can hear what's going on. Now if you're listening in stereo, which is what I recommend, don't be watching this on your phone, because just don't. If you're going to do audio in any way, don't watch this on a phone. Plug in headphones and get the full range, please. You'll think before it later. Okay, you should hear the separation on the guitar part. Now there's another part coming up that's going to complement that. Oh, computer overload. Sorry, must be doing too much. Here we go. Okay, that right there, that is a this is my theory on what I believe that synth pop and chillwave, dream pop is technically doing. It's old compressed sounds of everything, including the reverb. So if you notice right over here where my mouse is on this particular track, notice that the arrangement of my inserts are my effects is that I have my reverb here before I compress it. And that's what actually gives it the sound. If you listen real close, I'm going to turn the compressor off and then let you hear this guitar part as it is. Okay, here it comes. This is just one guitar. Okay, so it sounds okay, but when I add the compressor to it, if you're listening close, you'll notice that there's a lot more just pressure on everything, and there's other parts here where I'm doing it as well. Let me turn that one off and get to here. These are doing it as well. Okay, on this one, same thing. Hear that? That's straight. Now I turn the compressor on. And so what's going on is the compressor is trying to push everything down and then releases it all, which you can adjust on the compressor itself. And that, the more reverb it's on there, usually high end and explosive reverb or something that's going to reveal itself, is going to create that sound, which is a really cool. It sounds like old cassettes or old 80s stuff, that's the pumping thing that people hear and the pulsating. A lot of that has to do with compression as well, but that's a little bit too much for me. I like to kind of meet in the middle on that. But if you're wanting to get a chillwave sound on a guitar or any instrument really, you can just add some of that compression on there. So as an example, on this particular part, if I show you the compressor, I have the ratio pushed all the way up, and the more that I release the threshold, which is when the computer starts to compress it, the less compression you're going to hear. So when I go back to this part, watch as I turn the threshold down. Come on, let's get there. Listen real close. Hear all that distortion? That gives it punch, and it's the amount of ratio that I have here that affects that. So if I reduce the ratio of how much it's compressing to itself, you won't hear it as much. But as I increase the ratio, it gets dirtier, it gets ugly. So that's how you can kind of tweak with stuff. And don't be afraid to tweak, mess around, and try things like this. I just make one recommendation for mixing. Always try to remember this. When you play it to decide if you like it, do it in context. Don't do it isolated or solo. Don't do it solo, because it's going to sound great solo, or it could sound horrible solo. But when it's in context, that's what counts, because that's how people are going to hear it. So definitely do it within the mix. So when I mix this stuff together, what I'm showing you here might not seem as great, but when it all comes together, everything sounds awesome, because there's all the other stuff complementing it. Now I got a third part coming up here. which is, boy, I'm learning a lot, aren't I? It seems my computer can handle both. This third part here is just kind of rhythm guitar that you're going to hear coming. I've got a sample delay on that, and I'll show you what that is. In any program you're working in, you might find this. I don't know which program, but in Logic, you can use the sample delay, which is right here, if you can see. I don't know how to, I think I can show where the cursor is. This sample delay is just off by, I can do it by samples or milliseconds. Technically, it should be about 10 milliseconds on the average. I'll be in the middle of 12. I wasn't paying attention, but I just wanted to hear the separation. So without this, here's what it sounds like. And again, we'll turn that compressor off. Okay. Okay, stereo's affecting that too, but there is a sample delay that's making a difference here. Then when I put the compressor back on, all that stuff just kind of gets messy. There's a lot going on here, so it might be hard to hear it, but trust me, in essence, this stuff makes a difference. And you just have to take your time and listen when you're doing it. So when this part comes in, it stands out more because I've sent it to the left and right sides, not fighting for the center of the stage. Here we go. Hear that? Okay, so obviously my system doesn't want to work with me. I got to shut other things down to do more of this. But I figured for a little bit, this would give you a little insight into some of the things that I'm trying to do with some of my tracks. I'll come back maybe with more if people are interested. I don't really know. I do know that YouTube videos tend to be really lengthy and people don't edit. I'm trying to crop this down so I don't waste a lot of time talking. So feel free to chew me out if I'm wasting too much time and you want me to get to the meat. In the meantime, you can find me on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com, Alvin Zamudio. This is an album called Wave. This is one of the candidates. And then alvinzamudio.com, you can find my website, but also if you're interested in learning even more, you can support me on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Alvin Zamudio. Thanks. See ya.